Hi, folks, this is David. Before the world knew her as Crystal Gayle, she was Brenda Gayle Webb, the youngest sister of country music legend Loretta Lynn. Crystal was born in Paintsville, Kentucky, in 1951, but she grew up in the small coal mining town of Wabash, Indiana, after her family moved north looking for work. Life wasn't easy. The Webb family struggled financially, and like Loretta, Crystal grew up surrounded by hardship, music, and strong family roots. There was a huge age gap between the two sisters. Loretta was already becoming a country music star, while Crystal was still a child. In many ways, Crystal grew up watching her older sister live the dream she could barely imagine herself. Loretta became more than just a sister. She became a mentor. As a teenager, Crystal often traveled with Loretta and spent time backstage at concerts and around recording studios. But there was one problem. Record executives wanted Crystal to sound exactly like Loretta Lynn. After all, they shared the same Kentucky roots and naturally had similar voices. But Loretta herself reportedly warned Crystal against copying her style. She encouraged her younger sister to become her own artist instead of another Loretta Lynn. That advice would change Crystal's life forever. Instead of hard-edged honky-tonk songs, Crystal moved toward a softer, smoother sound that would eventually help bridge country and pop music in the 1970s. And along the way, she would become one of the most recognizable women in country music history. When Brenda Gayle Webb entered the music business, her label quickly realized she needed a stage name. There was already another singer named Brenda Lee dominating country and pop music, so a new identity had to be created. According to music history stories, Loretta Lynn helped inspire the name Crystal Gayle. The Crystal supposedly came from the famous Crystal hamburger chain, while Gayle was taken from Brenda's middle name, Gayle. And just like that, Crystal Gayle was born. At first, success didn't come easy. Her early records leaned heavily toward traditional country music, but they didn't stand out in a crowded Nashville scene. Everything changed in the mid-1970s when Crystal embraced a smoother country pop style. Then came the song that changed everything. "Don't It Make My Brown Eyes Blue?" The record exploded in 1977 and turned Crystal into an international star almost overnight. Her silky voice, glamorous image, and floor-length hair made her instantly recognizable. Suddenly, Crystal Gayle wasn't just a country singer. She was everywhere. Television appearances, award shows, major tours, and crossover pop success few country artists had achieved at the time. Throughout the late 1970s and 1980s, Crystal stacked up hit after hit, including songs like "Talking in Your Sleep," "Half the Way," and "You and I" with Eddie Rabbitt. She became one of the defining voices of the country pop era and helped open the door for future crossover artists. But unlike many stars of that period, Crystal largely stayed away from scandal and controversy. Her image remained classy, elegant, and timeless, and even decades later, fans still instantly recognized that signature long hair and smooth Kentucky voice. Today, Crystal Gayle is still active in music, although she lives a much quieter life than during her peak years. She continues to make occasional concert appearances and special performances for longtime fans across the United States. While she no longer tours heavily like she once did, she still performs select shows and remains deeply respected within the country music community. In recent years, Crystal has also spent time honoring the legacy of her sister Loretta Lynn, following Loretta's passing in 2022. The bond between the two sisters remained strong throughout their lives, and Crystal has often spoken lovingly about Loretta's influence on both her career and her life. She's also become something of a living connection to classic country music history, one of the last remaining stars from the golden era of 1970s crossover country. And while newer generations may know her from old television clips or classic country playlists, Longtime fans still remember the voice, the elegance, and the mystery that made Crystal Gayle unforgettable. Because in many ways, Crystal Gayle never chased attention the way other stars did. She simply let the music speak for itself. And decades later, people are still searching for Crystal Gayle.
In a room with a flickering light, country music spotlight shining bright, showcasing tales of legends old, with heart and story